John was doing a remote.
Yeah. Hey, John.
How we doing?
Good, John, how you doing?
Doing
We
good.
don't have a quorum rate yet. I'm waiting on a few more here. Oh, we do now.
You in Florida?
Yeah. Yep.
Got the construction done up here?
No, not completely, but one of the apartments is done. One's almost done.
Good. How's the weather down there?
78 and sunny right now.
Beautiful.
Not too bad.
$78 and sunny, huh, John? Must be tough.
It's very tough. A lot of high level decisions we have to make down here.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open the meeting. We have a quorum. This is, I'm gonna open the Gloucester Police and Court Building Committee meeting on Thursday, February 27th. I guess we'll start working down the agenda and review the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there any discussion? Motion on the floor to accept the minutes from the previous meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll make the motion to accept the meeting minutes from last month.
Okay, seconded by John McCarthy.
Second, yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, the motion passes. I'm sorry, we need to finish the roll call vote because it's remote, so. Jim Whalen. Motion, we have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
So moved.
John McCarthy,
Yes.
Jill Cahill,
Present because I wasn't in attendance for the last meeting.
okay, Heidi Fiallo,
Yes.
Sean Bushy is a yes. Motion passes. Scott just joined us, so just give me 1 minute to get it set up. I guess, John McGonigal, we can start with you on agenda item number 2. On discussion regarding the current state of the project.
Sure. Yeah, so we're off-site. Court has been up and running for about a week and a half now, I believe. We're responding to items that come up as, people get into the building as quickly as we can. Couple roof leaks that we've had that we've taken care of that we're trying to mitigate as best as we can. But overall, project is basically complete. Just some final wrap up items, is like one punch list item left out there for us to complete, which will be done tomorrow. Overall, budget wise coming in pretty good. Scott will have the update on that with like the actual figures and numbers for it. But grand opening is March 13th, so 2 weeks. Ribbon cutting. So that'll be a nice day to, celebrate the new building. But overall, we're, happy with how the project went. It ended up being a more complex project than I think we all understood going into it. And thanks to CMS and Dawn Whittier for their part in it as well. I think we all worked collaboratively as a team to get the job done.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John?
Yes, Sean, a question for John. The roof leaks, John, I understand that it was a ice dam. What kind of mitigation did we do to make sure that that won't happen again, other than clearing the ice dam?
So it ended up being where the scuppers where we replaced them, there was some flashing that needed to be resealed. So we fixed that. Haven't seen any water at that location since, even after the big melt we got the past 3 days. And then the other leak was probably from some steel dunnage that we had sealed up against not seeing any water currently in that location either. So we feel like it's been mitigated in terms of ice damming. What we can't guarantee though is if we have another storm like 2 Sundays ago where you're getting that driving rain. We can't guarantee we won't see water infiltration again, but we're constantly monitoring and keeping tabs on the building to ensure that if anything needs to be addressed, we're working with Scott and the team to try to address it as quickly as possible.
Okay, is there a reason why we can't guarantee it won't leak again?
On our end, the scope of the project didn't call for us to do anything at the parapet caps or replace any of that work or the existing brick. Again, we didn't do a lot of work at the exterior. We did repointing and we replaced some problem areas that we knew, but there's just with an existing facade, there's no total guarantee, especially with brick that does allow for water to get behind and penetrate into the cavity. So we just can't fully guarantee that you're never going to see water again.
Okay, I actually find that a little concerning because that's the reason we started this project is because of the leaks in the building. I hate to see us putting all that work on the inside and still continue with leaks.
Yep, I understand. All the windows that were replaced, there has been no leaks around any of those. It's more like the parapets that we were not part of the scope at any point. And not saying that you're going to have water all the time. It's just there's these significant storms that we've seen is where we're probably the most vulnerable. Jill.
Yeah, Sean, I don't know, I saw with all the leak pieces on the agenda separately, but do you want us to just keep going with questions on that now or wait?
Sorry, Joe, one more time, please.
I saw that there's an agenda item to discuss the leaks. Do you want us to wait for that for questions or keep going?
Oh, yeah, no,
Okay.
that's a good idea, Joe. We should probably hold off on any more conversations. It's agenda item number 3 will be discussing the roof leak, and I think Scott has an update with that as well.
Okay, because I have some questions. Okay, great, thanks.
Sure.
I also have a attendee with a hand up, but I'm assuming BD might be Brad Dawes, so I'm going to allow him to talk using is that Brad on?
It is me, if you guys can hear me.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if BD was you. I'm gonna bring you into the meeting as a panelist, okay?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to say in addition to, kind of the work that was done on that roof, right, is that we actually are putting together like a PR to go back and look at, some of those areas that were out of scope that were not contemplated because we weren't redoing, the whole exterior, but some of the conditions where they, CMS's consultant came in and did an investigation where there may have been some through-wall flashing conditions that didn't look quite right from how they were installed. And, those were buried in the wall, so you couldn't tell. But when we did those investigations and found that, we came up with a couple of different approaches to it. And so we're going to go and refine those, put that together so that the city has an option, if they want to go and do something that's more wholesale, they can. But as was pointed out earlier, right now, those leaks seem to have been the result of, some of the, kind of the through wall scuppers that were there, and, those got tightened up and it seems to have gone away. But, there's still, as John was pointing out, there still are some conditions there that over time probably weren't originally built as well as they could have been. And so we're going to put that design together, put it out there. WT Rich is going to put a number to it, and then the city can make a decision if it wants to go and, kind of pursue that path. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you, Brad. Okay, so we kind of merged that into agenda item 2, which now transitioned into 3. But with speaking now of the roof leak, Scott, do you have anything you want to share with the roof leak?
Just to add, and we can, there might be some questions and just to continue with the discussion. So we originally had authorized a few $100,000 for
Can't hear anybody.
Is someone
Is
talking?
there, are you guys, John, are you hearing people?
Nope.
We lost sound for you guys in the room.
I can hear you, Jill. I couldn't, Scott went dead on me, so.
Yeah, I can hear you guys, but I can't hear the room.
Yeah,
Sean, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, no,
Okay.
Yeah, but now you're echoing.
Can you?
Why don't you mute yours and I'll turn mine on? Let's try that. Can you hear me?
With the echo.
Sounds good.
So if you mute yours now.
Yep.
And nobody can hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay,
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. All right.
not sure what happened there.
Yeah, that was, what I was saying is, we still have a $42,000 left within the previous authorized, value that the committee had voted on to do exterior weatherization work. Most of that was prioritized through, to repointing work. As we got into the winter, we found an area that hadn't been touched yet, and we set up some temporary winter protection and took care of that area. And this is what's left over, the 42,323. So some of the stuff Brad was talking about that, a few kind of select areas that we think could potentially be improved. Just to kind of bulletproof the area a little bit more if bulk water does get into the brick veneer cavity, that it will come out of that cavity. Right now, if you take the example of the water that got in around the scuppers, we did determine that it was a deficiency in the installation of the scupper that was reworked. We had paid to have them improved and put a kick out in so that the water wouldn't wash down the brick wall and kind of wash out the joints. That's what we saw over time. The recommendation from GRLA was the first step was to repoint that wall and to stabilize the wall and keep bulk water out. And then there was some other discussions that we had about potentially putting like some kind of fluid applied waterproofing on the brick that came from GRLA. It was in one of the original reports, but there was some kind of caution that it could cause efflorescence. There was caveats that, the brick has to be kind of really well done, repointed, and which we think we hit, most of the spots. When we get a chance to get out on the roof again, we're gonna get together as a team and walk around and see if anything is visible, that something's obvious that got missed. But we think that there's, going back to the through wall flashing example, water got in there and came down the cavity wall, but it didn't come out of the cavity wall. It may have come in so much that it built up and came, up over the through wall flashing and somehow got in. There was a lot of water up there. It was plugged with ice, so it was probably, pushing in at a pretty quick rate. But again, like it's been fixed. We haven't seen any water since, so it's sort of it's up to the committee and kind of the team to discuss various options that could be taken to make more improvements in those areas that we saw that water come in. Any questions so far?
Yeah, Scott, I just want to check and make sure, because I obviously the mayor and I found out about this early on from Mike. So I just want to make sure that you're coordinating all this with Mike and the DPW, because they're gonna be the long-term custodians of this building. So I
Yeah,
really, yeah,
He
Mike
had-
needs to kind of I think Mike needs to direct us on what the best investments are that are gonna, you guys will do the investigation, but he can direct us saying, long term, this is a better investment for us while we have you guys all on staff. DPW can probably take over or work through this or that. So I just want to make sure you're coordinating closely with Mike.
And what we're doing, and Brad alluded to it, is they're putting together a couple different sketches and options that WT Rich said that they would price out for us. So then we'll set a meeting with Mike and anybody that wants to join, go over them and weigh the pros and cons and the cost. And right now, we don't know how much it is, but if it's within, whether it's within the budget or it's outside the budget, we can figure out if it's a separate procurement or within this procurement. And we have some rough idea of how that will look if we address this in the spring with WT Rich and ourselves and Dora Whittier. So yeah, so we're working on it. We probably have another week or two to just kind of maybe a little bit longer with pricing and stuff, but maybe at least another week just to see something back from, is that fair to say, Brad? It's like about a week or so to get some options, those drawings.
I think so. I think we're, pretty close on having that stuff actually done. When I get back into the office today, I'll check on that. But yeah, by the end of next week, I think we're done. We had some of these things, done previously when we were looking at the options and the decision to do what we did. And now it's just looking at that and putting those back into some other spots on the building, to see if we want to, go further down the road on it. So it should be pretty close. Next week seems reasonable.
Jimmy, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, I have one more question. Is there I saw some pictures, but is there cosmetic damage to inside as well that we need to deal with?
Well, when we say we, I would say WT Rich is taking care of that. Is that right, John?
Yeah, that's all been done.
Okay. I need a happy judge. And he was not happy. So thank you. I just want to make sure that, they were very excited about moving back in. And as you guys know, there was leaks were their biggest issue, and to walk back in and move in and have.
I think there were 2 tiles today that got wet from the rain that we've had and the melting. So we'll be out there tomorrow. So we'll replace those 2 ceiling tiles and anything else that the court have on their list.
Okay, thank you.
Chris McQuaid?
Yeah, I just wanted to, you just mentioned the leaks that happened today. I just wanted to mention that again. So as long as we're trying to work to resolve them, I think we'll be okay.
Yep, we got the roofer coming back tomorrow.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
then take out the 2 ceiling tiles that Tim sent us today.
Okay.
Are these new locations, or are these just thinking that, it's the same culprit, or do we have a sense of that right now?
They're different than what has leaked before. But I think we might know the reason. We'll get a better understanding tomorrow, Brad, once we have the roofer out there and have John from WT out there. And if it's something that needs to be addressed further, we'll bring it up.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
Anyone else on the roof leaks? Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 4. The presentation and approval of owner's change order 19. Share your screen, Scott.
Yeah, I just gotta pull it up. Hold on one second. Sorry. You don't have it handy, do you, John? If not, it'll just take me a second.
No, I don't, sorry.
I'm just gonna grab it from the link, because. Alright, just gonna share. Okay, can everybody see that okay? Looks like it's pretty legible. Change order 19, the total amount of $57,848. This includes some roof level T&M work that was part of the previously approved work. There was some they asked the question if we wanted to get a credit back for some attic stock for some insulated units from the glazer. That credit amount was $2,895. There was some at the stair 200. There was some additional metal wall panel infill work just to resolve an existing condition for $1,800. There was the previously approved PCO for the time extension for the general conditions for $46,526, and we had some additional cementitious parging on the walls of in the stairwell for $1,555. That brought the total for this change order to $57,848. Any questions on any of these items, PCOs?
No questions, any further discussion? Do I have a motion on the floor to approve change order 19, amount of $57,848?
So moved.
Jim Leon, a second,
Second,
seconded by Jill Cahill. Okay, we'll take a roll call vote. Jim Whalen,
Yes.
Jill Cahill,
yes,
John McCarthy,
Yes.
Heidi Fiallo,
Yes.
and Sean Bushy, yes. The motion passes. We'll move on to agenda item number 5, which is the presentation and approval of outstanding invoices and requisitions.
All right. Okay, so last month we have 4 bills, I believe. We had WT Rich application number 21 for $316,670. CMS invoice GPD number 23 for $19,000. We had Comfort Systems BCM for invoice number 2502017 for $13,205.27. And we had Creative Office Resources, furniture vendor for, that was invoice 271932 for $11,547.50. The total comes out to be $360,422.77.
So does anybody have any questions for Scott on the invoices and recs? No questions, any further discussion?
Scott, one question for Scott. Sean? The comfort system and creative office furniture, was that for the police station or the court?
Both of those are for the police station. We're not paying for BCM for the court, and we didn't buy any furniture for the court either. So it's all PD. This was for the second order for furniture from Creative Office Resources, and we just recently put in the third and final one, right, Sean?
Will be the final one for the third floor classroom and
So we'll
simulator room.
We'll have like another round of bills, maybe one or two more of these to kind of finalize things over the next 30 to 60 days of closeout.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Yep.
Okay, I don't see any other hands, so. Do I have a motion on the floor to approve the invoices and requisitions in the amount of $360,422.77?
So moved.
Seconded.
Second,
I have a, okay, seconded. Motion by Jim Whalen, seconded by John McCarthy. Roll call vote. Jim Whalen,
Yes.
Jill Cahill,
Yes.
John McCarthy,
yes.
Heidi Fiallo,
Yes.
Sean Bushy, yes. The motion passes. And then is there any other business matters not known at the time of the posting of the agenda that may legally come before the committee? Anybody have any other business? No, hear or see any other business? I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Right. Motion by Jim Whalen,
Second.
seconded by Jill Cahill. Roll call vote, Jim Whalen,
Yes.
Jill Cahill,
Yes.
John McCarthy,
Yes.
Heidi Fiallo,
Yes.
and Sean Bush is a yes. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.